Hi, and welcome to Life in Pages. Today I'll be going over the fourth book of the Red Rising series by Pierce Brown called Iron Gold. It's the book right after the original trilogy was released, so you get for like a wild ride, sort of. Anyways, so because it is the fourth book in a series, I highly recommend to watch the videos I have of the first three books or to read the first three books. I'm saying this to hopefully avoid not only any spoilers for y'all, but also so you don't get confused throughout this video. Okay, with that warning out of the way, let's get into it. I originally started reading this book really strong, but couldn't finish it due to the fact that I had to return it to the library, and then I couldn't get back to the library because of my work schedule. So I ended up just buying a copy of it as soon as I could. Then on top of that, the copy that I did receive was clearly had a lot of character or personality to it. So through this experience of being a slow reader throughout the flu season, because I work in healthcare, I've had to do a lot of what I call life pauses on this book alone. Yet, even with all the life pauses, I was easily able to jump back into the universe that is Red Rising, which is honestly amazing to me because I'm that person that will get lost just trying to find the bathroom. So, good job, Pierce Brown. Make it easy for me to back and forth. The first half of the book is pretty much the author reintroducing us to the worlds and their politics. Pierce Brown does this by giving the reader not just one perspective, but through four. So, we're either blessed or cursed to see the universe through four characters' eyes. I know some people like jumping through different characters' perspectives, while some readers don't. So, I'm giving that warning now for anybody who wants to keep reading the Red Rising series, but are totally unsure. Do expect that. I definitely was not till I started reading, and I'm like, oh, we're switching gears. So that's my warning to y'all. The four people that are experiencing the story through one of them is, of course, our boy Daryl, then Lysander, then Ephraim and Lyra or Lyra. I'm not totally sure how to say her name because of that Y sound. So, two characters we know about from previous books and two new ones sharing the spotlight. So, as readers, we are jumped through 10 years in a blink of an eye, and Pierce Brown helps us catch up through these characters. So, this is going to be a little spoiler, and there's going to be other little spoilers throughout this review. So, I do apologize if you have to keep, skipping. I try to keep it to a minimum, but I'm going to just keep saying, hey, little spoiler for y'all. I felt like the first half of the book was showing the reader how unstable not only the new government is, but also the universe itself within the past 10 years. This is important because, we get to see the battle of Darrow within Darrow. We do get a map of the solar system being in different fractions, along with a who's who and a very recent summary of the war. Honestly, the little summary thing at the beginning reminds me a lot of Star Wars. Because, in Star Wars, before every movie, there's, a little thing you gotta read. It's kind of what it reminded me of. The first half gives slightly similar vibes to the first book in the series. The reasoning for that is probably because of the two new characters we have. That's as far as I'll go into it due to me trying to keep any spoilers. The second half of the book gets more interesting and speeds up to where I wish my reading speed was just as fast, y'all. I really do. I think with this series, and especially with this book, we get to see more of the nitty-gritty of things or the realities of the aftermath of the revolution. The whole Red Rising series isn't your typical, oh, the main character killed and or overthrown the tyrant, and now we're all living happily ever after, hee hee, haha. Because that's most of the soap novels or films that I've come across, that's kind of how they come off as, and that's not the reality. But anyways, the Red Rising series so far is showing both the short and long-term effects the revolution has towards all walks of society. For any U.S. history buffs out there, this war kind of reminds me of the Civil War and its aftermath. I know the U.S. Civil War is on a much smaller scale, and it isn't a great one-to-one scenario, but I just can't help but make the comparison due to some key factors. Like the like you I know with like the Civil War when everyone got like freed, there were still like lots of issues with not only like the South but also with the North that a lot of people don't want to talk about. Um, so yeah, we're dealing with stuff like that. So, anyways, so far the main villain or villains in this arc are the people who followed the former sovereigns and the society's preachings, along with anyone who like opposes freedom for like all, which honestly sounds familiar. That's like another key factor in like U.S. history. So, and that goes back to like Civil War as well, and most U.S. wars. So yeah, I know that that's like a planet or two worth of people, at least, who are like can be considered bad guys. Probably why there's at least 3 more books after this, and I'm recording this as of 2026. In this book, it shows how wildly some different. Oh my god! In this book, it shows how wildly different some people are when they're in wartime versus peaceful times. Pierce does give a few good examples in the very beginning of this book, to where like I kind of had like whiplash of like, really, that dude, really you. It got really real quick. Anyways, in Iron Gold, we no longer are seeing Darrow the boy, but Darrow the man. Darrow and Servio are in their 30s, along with most of the original group. The relationship between Darrow and Servio is bittersweet because they are being tested on not only trying to end this war and to be decent fathers, but as well as brothers to each other. With the chaos that is the war, each is struggling hard to find this balance. That as much as I'm willing to go into like their relationship as a whole, because I really don't want to spoil it. I actually like love their relationship with each other. It kind of warms my heart. It gives me hope. It gives me like also like Lord of the Ring vibes as well, but that's just me. I don't know if y'all have that same feeling. Anyways, after side tangent, let's get back into it. Now, when it comes to Darrow, he is fully aware that he's not the father that he wants to be. He acknowledges that he has his faults. He wishes a lot that he could reverse time just to be a better father. The man is trying to be the boy he once was, while also trying to balance like everything else that I've talked about. I will give you this one giant spoiler. Like, Darrow goes from this like gentle soldier type person, politician, to try to like keep the peace within like the government he more or less helped set up, to him just deciding that like he must go full gold, and for him to be like full gold, he must fully become the Reaper. And the only reason why he feels like he must fully become the Reaper and be nothing else but the Reaper is to end this war and to give his son a brighter future, even though like he can't physically be with his son. So he's very much choosing the martyr type role in a kind of different way than his first wife Io did. But because of how he's going about it, it honestly just reminds me of when Odysseus decides to go into like full monster mode just so he can get home. So like it's a different kind of martyr than Io. Darrow's more of going towards the Odysseus route, while Io was your typical martyr. So, but anyways, I get similar vibes between those two characters, and it makes me honestly sad because I don't know if Darrow's going to be able to recover. But anyways, that's what all the other books are for. The 2 new character perspectives I'll leave as like I like them. I really do. Like they both, I wasn't totally sure about them, but like they grew on me like a fungus, and it was a nice added like spice to like push me to keep reading the series. To where like I need to know more about these characters. My least favorite character perspective I was for was actually Lysander's, which was one of the ones I was actually looking forward to originally. Because when we first meet him, he's like this little kid. Well, the more I kept reading, from his perspective, the less I liked him. Don't get me wrong, he has some like redeeming qualities. And I hope he like does get redeemed later on. I really do. And like, please don't spoil me in the comments. Please don't. Please don't, because like I've heard mixed bags. Some people like him, some people don't. I'm like, I'm hoping that he doesn't, even though I just finished the book. So like the likelihood is like, you know, what's up his sleeve, you know? I'm just hoping that he'll pull like a Zuko. You know, that's honestly what I'm hoping for, but I don't know if he's actually going to do that. I have too much hope for like characters. Okay, I just do. Anyways, I'm gonna leave Lysander on the fact that he is definitely a loon. He's definitely his grandmother's child. Like from that bloodline. So I think that's probably why, like, maybe like he's just putting on a brave face. I don't know. I'm just hoping he's just being a loon in a good way and not a bad way. At the end of this book, my heart was just breaking for most of these characters. It really was, and it makes me really like sad and whatnot. I really want to start reading the next book. I'm kind of scared too, but I'm also excited. Anyways, now to go into the actual rating of Iron Gold, or the 4th book of this series. I will give it, so I rate things based on pages instead of stars. So if you're new to my channel, or this is like your first video, I rate things like that. So instead of 5 out of 5 stars, I say 5 out of 5 pages instead. It's my way of just like tying into my channel and having fun with it. That's all it really is. This is me having some fun with the rating system. So pages, me saying 3 out of 5 pages or 3 out of 5 stars, you know, that's the same thing, right? So my rating for this book is 3 out of 5 pages. And y'all probably wondering, why though? Why? It's well, one, it's part of a series, so you have to read like the first 3 books. So I can't just like give it to somebody and be like, here, start reading. So that takes at least half a star off. Okay, so if they be struggling, they wouldn't get a lot of references. Okay, they'd be able to do it. A lot of things would go over their heads. The other one is that it's really not his best out of the whole series. Just because you have to go through a lot of weeds, which is like the first half of the book. You have to go through all of those weeds. So to just that way you can understand what's going on later, which I understand why he did that. I'm not dogging on him. But it's honestly not his best book out of the whole series. Okay? It's not. The last thing is because it started off a little rough, but it ended really, really strong. So that's why it's like in the middle. So like it started rough, but it ended really strong. It ended polar opposite of like how it started. And I love that. I love how like I wasn't sure at the beginning whether or not to keep reading, but I just was like, fudge it, I'm gonna keep reading. And then I'm so glad I did, because the ending, even though I have lots of questions, the ending was so good. Was so good. To where I do have to read the next book. I feel like I have this moral obligation to read this next book. Even though I'm scared. No, I'm scared to read the next book. But I feel like a moral obligation, because I gotta know what happened to these damn characters. I do. I gotta know. I got to know. Okay? But anyways, that's why it's like 3 out of 5 pages, and that's a pretty like, and honestly a high 3 out of 5, and then mainly because it's part of a series. If it was like standalone, like if it was like, you know, if there wasn't as much politics, I would probably put it higher. That way the person who, if I handed it off to somebody, they wouldn't be like, ooh, why is this important? Yeah, it's like plopping somebody in like I think second Star Wars movie, and you're like, what's happening? Yeah, I don't want to do something like that to somebody. So, but anyways, that is all that I have. I do apologize for the extremely long wait of me just putting out this review of Iron Gold. It is more of a rambling type review than anything else. But I do appreciate your guys' patience, your loyalty, and just like watching or listening to this. I really do highly appreciate it. If this is like your first video of me like doing this, I do apologize that it is your first video and that you got this far. But if y'all want to support me in any way possible, and in a very free way too, like it doesn't cost you anything, just hit like the like or subscribe button. Like either one of those is like the best way to support me. Every time like somebody like likes my video or subscribes, I get so giddy, y'all. It's not fun. Like it is funny, but it's also not funny. Like I might like it just makes my day for the rest of the day, if not week. So like that's the easiest way to not only support me, but like light up like my day or week. Okay, it's like thank y'all. Like it means so much. But anyways, I hope y'all have a wonderful day or night or whatever it is for y'all. And yeah, bye y'all.